treat. So we're going to give everybody about 2 more minutes to get on, get started. So we'll be starting at 7:33. So until then, no, you're not late. You're not late, Mr. Richardson. You're not late. Don't worry. You're not late. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to just, let's see, turn off some cameras that might not need to be on. How about that? Okay, there we go. Okay, so who do we have out there? Let's have 2-minute roll call. 2-minute roll call, guys. You can unmute your line. Let us know who you are, where you're calling in from. Represent your country. Represent who you are. Who do we have out there?
Good night, all. Emma Hepburn, Cat Island.
Welcome, Emma. Cat Island, yes. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Tim Trahan, Grand Prairie, Texas.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I am doing super fantastic. How are you?
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Who else we got out there?
Michael Baker, Tobago.
Welcome, Michael from Tobago in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, welcome. Who else do we have out there?
Sarah from Jamaica.
Hey, Sarah. Welcome from Jamaica. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Townsend, can I have control so I can mute persons out once they're finished, please?
Oh, I'm Michael. I'm from Trinidad.
Hey, Michael. Welcome, welcome.
I am Hubert from Jamaica.
Welcome, Hubert from Jamaica. Welcome to the call.
Anastasia, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome, Anastasia. The Bahamas in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Who else do we have out there?
Marva in Toronto, Canada.
Marva from Toronto, Canada. Who else do we have out there?
Charmin from Jamaica.
Hey, Charmin. Welcome. Jamaica in the house. Who else we have out there? I'm going to give you all 1 more minute to do roll call.
Barbara Evans from the 242.
Yes, Queen, Pastor Barbara. That's what I'm talking about. And trust me, I'm going to be calling upon you in a few minutes to pray us in. So who else we got out there?
Kathleen, Jamaica.
Charlene Cash 242.
Welcome, Charlene. Welcome, Kathleen 242, Jamaica. Welcome, welcome. Who else do we have out there?
Lance from Canada.
Welcome, Lance. Welcome, welcome. Canada in the house.
Hi, Carla from Louisiana.
Welcome, Carla, Louisiana in the house. Hey. Woohoo! Who else do we have out there? Going once, going twice. Roll call is gonna end right now. Let me mute everybody out. Yes, I love to sing, so I tend to always put a song whenever I talk. My cousin always says, Ruth Ann, like, I'm always waiting for you to just break out in song. You just can't help yourself. And sometimes I can't, I really can't. So welcome to this call, guys. This is about the microbiome, where we talk about this invisible force that many of us didn't even know existed until now. And, a few years ago, they started doing a project, and the gentleman is going to get into that and tell us more about it. But before we start, we like to just put the anointing on top of everything that we do, just put it on the top of the cake, And like we like to say around here, we respect all religions, we respect everybody's views, but we like to just show you how we do things. So without further ado, I'm going to unmute Pastor Barbara. Let's see, where is she? Barbara Evans. Asked to unmute. Okay, can you pray us in? Yes, I can. Pray us in, my love.
Amen. Amen. Great day to each and every one of you who are on tonight. Let us pause as we reverence God. Eternal Father, we give you thanks for such a great day and a productive day. God, we thank you, God, that we are still in our right mind. We don't take it for granted. We thank you, God, for help. We thank you for strength. We thank you for friendship. We thank you for family. God, most importantly, God, we thank you for this group of persons who have gathered here tonight to gain information, God, that we can share with others, God. And so, God, we thank you for Mr. Campbell and all of Tim and Dr. Helen and all the others who are so ably assisting us with information and with empowering your people. God, we thank you, God, for Dr. Ruth Ann. And we continue, God, to stand on your word, God, that by your stripes she is healed. And God, we just place that in your hands tonight. God, we thank you, God, and we pray that you will find glory in all these proceedings tonight in Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen.
Wow, powerful. I could feel it through the lines. I could feel it all the way in the Bahamas. I don't know about y'all in Canada and all over the world, and Tobago, Jamaica, Turks Island, Louisiana, wherever you are, I know you felt it. Okay. So I want to say tonight is about our favorite topic every Tuesday, which is the microbiome. And if you've never, ever heard about this like amazing thing that's living, or I should say, maybe are we living with it? Yes, it can become very complex. So without further ado, I'm going to slide out of the way and I'm going to bring to the line the dream child of this phenomenal movement that has been created. And all of us have literally come behind him and he said, I want you to be a part of it. And we've all hooked hands and said, let's do it. So as he pulls us along and brings us up to speed and allows us to gain knowledge about this amazing thing called the microbiome, he constantly is teaching us on a weekly basis and just adding a little extra every single week, and then reiterating for those that are new, because we don't want to leave you behind. We always want you to know this is the information that's being given. And then we always add a little bit extra for those that have been here last week and want to know a little bit more. He always adds more. So without further ado, I want to bring to the line whom I call the poet of health, because the knowledge that this man has gained, he's gone and he's delved into this topic. Something came across him and it brought it to light. And once it was brought to light for him, he could not stop searching for truth. And in his truth, he just kept delving deeper and deeper and deeper, and has allowed all of us to come along for that journey. So without further ado, King Clive Campbell, have you made it to the call? Or hold on, let me reintroduce you. Sorry. Clive Microbiome Campbell, have you made it to the call?
Okay, great. Dr. Ruth Ann Lightbourne, I have made it to the call and I would not be anywhere else. I would be here. So thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for the energy and the passion that you bring to the table. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to use this opportunity to welcome anyone who will be coming to this call for the first time tonight. If you have heard about this call during the course of the week or last week and so on, or if it's the second time on the call, we welcome you in a very special way. Here we do what we do, and for the main motive of trying to bless God's people with a type of information that some may call esoteric, meaning that you do not find this any and anywhere. You would have to come to this call to find this information, or unless someone directs you to it on the internet. So we are very happy for what the Lord has blessed us with. And we are hoping that by the time you leave here tonight, you will feel enlightened, you will feel empowered, you will believe that you have something that you have never had before, because indeed, we are learning things about ourselves every day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are learning that we are living in an ocean of bacteria. We never knew this. We thought that because we could not see them, when we open our eyes and we look, we don't see them in our atmosphere. We don't see them around us. We don't see them on us. But ladies and gentlemen, the very latest that is coming out of the medical and scientific circle is that they are all around us. They are like a cloud. You literally walk with your own cloud of bacteria surrounding and radiating from your body. So they are around us, they are on us, they live in us, they are all over us, they have become us. We will never have our human body to ourselves. We have travelers with us on this amazing journey called life. So we live in an invisible ocean of bacteria. And what intrigues me is that we often stare into the sky and we wonder at the stars, the big ones and the small ones, the cluster ones. And we are all intrigued at the amount of stars that are in the sky, especially when the electricity is gone and you're able to see the dark sky lit with all these amazing stars. But what amazes me is that of some sort, we have a universe living inside of us. And it is amazing that we should have God should have invested so much in us as individuals, and we do not know what we have. Then you might say then, how did this happen? How did we come to have all these types of bacteria, etc., living inside of our body? It all happened in the third trimester of pregnancy, when the vaginal microbiome bacteria begin to change to resemble that of the gut bacteria. It's a miracle, it's a mystery, it's something phenomenal that the vaginal microbiome is a normal microbiome. But when the child is about to be born, it changes to reflect that of the mom's gut, the species and type and variety and diversity. And therefore, when the child passes through the birth canal, that child is smothered with, is baptized with all these different types of microbes. And these microbes play a very unique and important role in the development of the child. And the child that does not get these microbes, and because they are born maybe cesarean, yes, they do not get these full amount of microbes as the child passes through the birth canal. Just for the record, in some jurisdiction, what some authorities do in some hospitals in some countries is that they are able to gather the vaginal fluid from the mom as much as they can get and smother it over the child. And there is a reason for doing that, because children who are not born normally into normal birth tend to have issues in terms of asthma, allergies, type 1 diabetes, eczema, food sensitivities, and eventually we may get autoimmune diseases later on in life, like lupus, the things like cancer, diabetes, and other type of things like Alzheimer's and such alike. So it is very important, many doctors are realizing, for this fluid to be smothered over the face, over the upper part of the body, the chest and arms and so on, so they may get the microbes from the mom. The child that is born cesarean gets the microbes from the arm of the attending physician or the clothes or the atmosphere inside the operating theater, and which is a different type of microbes than what is found and handed down to you generationally speaking. So just for that record, there is a reason why God would allow this to happen. So what we want to look at is the fact that when you look in the mirror, Michael Jackson did a song, spoke about the man in the mirror. When you look in your mirror, that man in the mirror, that woman, that child in the mirror does not represent and reflect the true you. If you want to know the true you, you cannot look in the mirror. You have to look through another type of device that you can see what makes up your body, to see what really is there. And so when we realize this truth, it begins to change the way we see ourselves. And since we start looking at the microbiome and what represents the microbiome, we have been given a different and a new perspective on life, ladies and gentlemen, because we are having a serious identity crisis. We are not who we think we are. You see, what happens is that when a child is born, when you were born, for example, you were 99% human cells. By the time you reach 3 to 4 years old, you will only be 10% human and 90% microbes until the day you die. So our identity, we did not know our true colors. We are not black, we are not white, we're not yellow, we're not Caucasian. We are microbes. 90% of us are microbes. And when the Human Genome Project was done in 1990, we discovered some things about ourselves that we did not know, because in 1990, they launched the Human Genome Project, in which they sequenced and mapped all the genes in the human body. Now, they were very hopeful that we were comprised of millions of genes, because after all, when they mapped the genes of the common rice plant, they saw 38,000 genes. When they sequenced and mapped the genes of a common earthworm, they found 46,000 genes. Then if rice plant and worms had all those tens and thousands of genes, it would seem logical that human genes would run into the millions of millions. At the end of the 13-year study, they discovered something that was very surprising, quite revealing, quite eye-opening, and quite humbling. They only found a whopping 22,500 human genes. They were blown away. They checked again. 22,500 human genes. Now, a doctor at the time said, you cannot consider human health without considering microbial health. So in 2008, they started the Human Microbiome Project. They sequenced and mapped the genes of the microbes in the body. So wherein the human body has 10 trillion cells, the microbial population in the body is 10 times that, 100 trillion cells. Now, when it comes to genes, 22,500 human genes, how would you guess? I would like to guess. How many microbial genes? 3+ million and counting microbial genes are in the human body. Ladies and gentlemen, we are mostly bacteria and we did not know it. I wonder if I can say that again. We are mostly comprised of bacteria and we did not know it. Bacteria in man and on man is not man's idea. This is not an infection. This is not an invasion. This is God's decision. This is how God made us, to accommodate bacteria and other types of microorganisms. This is the wake-up call of the 21st century. We have been living our lives like a candle in the wind, not knowing our true identity, that we are really an ecosystem comprising of bacteria, fungi, viruses, a subclass called archaea, and even parasites. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your true identity that you cannot see in the mirror in your bedroom or in your bathroom. So the saying goes, what makes us human ain't even human. Isn't it humbling to know that many of the functions we thought we were doing for ourselves are being performed by non-human cells, in particular bacteria? The very same things we try to kill, we give them names: scum, bugs, critters, and other names that you may know, and we try to get rid of them. We thought they were living in us, but really and truly it's like we are living in them. How many of them are us? How many of us are them? And the answers are coming fast and furious. And with you understanding your makeup, we have become good at understanding the human self. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to your microbial self. your other side of you, your new biology. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the wake-up call. Now, just to give you some idea that of the 100 trillion microbes that lives in our body, 40% of them live inside one organ of the body. And you would never know. If doctors were to cut your colon, they will not see it because they cannot see something so small with the naked eye. These microorganisms live in the mucous lining of your colon. And doctors are saying that these 40 trillion microbes function as an organ, an invisible organ. I mean, if you're on the call for the first time tonight and you're hearing this, please make sure you're sitting down because this can be quite revolutionary because we are not who we think we are. When Granny always said, when you're digging grave, she said, dig two. Because we are here planning funeral to kill bacteria, only to realize that we are mostly bacteria ourselves. And we have made a world hostile to microbes and bacteria in particular. Our homes are hostile with all that chlorine bleach. We wipe down everything. We mop the floor. We wipe down the counters. We wipe down the windows, trying to get rid of bacteria. In essence, we're trying to get rid of ourselves. And we did not know it. The world is hostile to microbes. And you have heard me said, trying to live in a world hostile to bacteria and microbes today is like you're a nice fat balloon trying to live, what in Jamaica we call it maca. We might say cacti, for those who would understand that term better. But we are living dangerously. We are living in glass houses, so to speak, and we are walking among men throwing stones. It's a very dangerous thing, my friend. So these 40% of microbes live in the gut. Doctors and scientists have given them a name. They used to refer to them as bad bacteria and good bacteria. Then they said fauna and flora. Now they are calling them the microbiome, a community of small organisms that function together to achieve a common goal. Our microbes in our gut, the common goal is to help us as humans perform as a human, and we feed them and they perform well in protecting us and guiding us and guarding us. So we have this universe of microbes in our body, and the role they perform, you're going to understand why they call it an organ. Because they perform in terms of controlling your mood. That is, if you're happy or if you're sad. How they do that? They make 30 different neurotransmitters, or what you want to call hormones. Serotonin is the hormone that they make. 95% of the serotonin produced in your body is not made by the brain in your skull. It's made by your second brain in your gut, because they call these microbes a second brain. 95%. This is an antidepressant, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why many persons are suffering anxiety and depression is because these microbes are damaged in one way, form, or the other. So many persons are sad, anxious, depressed, irritable, moody. Things are always on top of them instead of they are on top of things and in control. Because the gut that makes our serotonin has become damaged one way or the other. Is this a wake-up call for some of us? Are we seeing this? Are we understanding this? I know I don't have the luxury of time tonight to delve deeply into the full role of the microbiome in the gut, but I give you an idea. It controls our immune system. The gut microbiome is what breaks down nutrients and feed the T regulatory lymphocyte that monitors and controls the immune system. It is what teaches the immune system, trains the immune system, supervises the immune system, and at instances when the gut is working well, raises the intelligence quotient, IQ of the immune system to stop autoimmune diseases. In saying to the immune system, guys, you are fighting your own. The war has been won long time ago. You are causing much damage. Come back to camp, and the immune system begin to understand. Calm down in the presence of a properly functioning gut, and you stop the autoimmune diseases of lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, MS, and the list goes on. Don't even have time to talk about leaky gut syndrome, in which the gut has become porous because of the bacteria that we are feeding, because of a bad diet. It's not the good bacteria, it's the bad bacteria you are feeding with much of the diet that we are taking in. It's not what you're eating, ladies and gentlemen, it's what you are feeding. Look at your diet. What are you feeding when you are eating? By the food that you're eating, processed food, refined food, acidic food, feeds the pathogenic bacteria. When you eat food from Mother Nature, plant food, fruits, vegetables, grains, seeds, and nuts, you are feeding the beneficial bacteria. Now, let me just give you this fact, that 98% of the bacteria in your body are good. Only 2% are bad. You know why the 2% rules the 98%? Because we are feeding the 2% by our diet. The processed food, things we buy in boxes, bottles, cans, and tins, etc., from the supermarket. And then we go to these outlets that sell the pizza, the burgers, the fries, the sodas, and all these other things. This is not food for the good bacteria. This is food for the bad bacteria. And they thrive. When they thrive, it causes damage to the gut leaks, and you get a leaky gut situation in which undigested food particles, bad bacteria, etc., leaks into the blood and causes chronic low-grade inflammation. And in an inflammatory state means that things are swollen. Your brain is swollen. That's why we get different disease of the brain, heart, your blood vessels, your liver, your lungs, your kidneys. Thank God for Sankey Global that makes product that has anti-inflammatory properties and help the good bacteria to come back to the fore and to win the battle and take control over your health again. We need a product to help us to restore homeostasis or balance in the body. And from 1970, the Japanese scientists studying the Okinawans, the longest living, healthiest living people on the planet, found that the secret to health is in the gut. As Hippocrates said it 2,500 years ago, all diseases begins in the gut. So with these 4 products that you're going to hear about soon, we can feel empowered that we have something to fix what we need to fix, so that when the gut is fixed, the gut turns around and fixes us. How do you like that arrangement? But when the gut is damaged, it is powerless to help us. And that is why we develop high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, neurological disorders of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, schizophrenia, MS, and all those other autism and things of that nature. And when it goes to the body, a damaged immune system, which causes myriad of problems in the body. This is this, ladies and gentlemen. So Sankey Global has the solution for the problems that we have. Now, I'm aware that my time is about used up, because Queen Dr. Ruth Ann, can you please confirm for me that Lady Denise is on the call at this time?
Yes, Queen Joy Piera is on, so I can introduce her and bring her up. Listen, this lady
Yes.
is an absolute amazing, fantastic, phenomenal individual. She's a certified geriatric nurse. She has trained and worked under the supervision of many individuals, and she's dealing with molecular, so orthomolecular nutritionists and microscopy blood cell analysis. Listen, when you listen to this lady speak, just like King Clive, you're like, okay, what? Hold on, pause, rewind. I need to hear more. What? Stop. So without further ado, listen, I love to call, and this is my endearing term to her, I call her AKA Dr. Denise. So AKA Dr. Denise, are you out there?
Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. To the listening public and over the YouTube and all around the world, I'm on, Queen Dr. Ruth Ann. What an amazing topic. Wow.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. And I know you're about to take us off and take us into something, you know, another level of understanding, you know, the penile and the vaginal, you know, and King Clive covered a little bit and explained to the importance of how this, you know, the microbiome is spread over the child and brought into us. And we use all of this microbiome when it's, you know, when you're having a baby. But
Yes.
what's so important about the vaginal microbiome and the penile microbiome? Like, does it really matter?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And you're going to hear all about that tonight. Wow, wow, wow. Folks, it's an honor and a privilege to be on the call tonight. As usual, for those new, those who have been on for the past few weeks, we have been talking about the microbiome and what is the microbiome. And Master Clive did a fantabulous job tonight in explaining the vaginal microbiome, because we've had that in 2 sessions gone. So tonight, my job is to talk a little bit about the microbiome of the penis. Yes, you see a lovely pic on the screen there. And we're going to go through what you are seeing, the anatomy part of it there. And I'm going to try to explain to you what it is. But first, let me clarify some terms here for you all. We talk about the microbiomes. What we mean by microbiomes. Microbiomes refers to the collection of genomes from all the microorganisms in the environment. I'm going to repeat that again. It refers to the collection of genomes from all the microorganisms in the environment. What is the microbiota? Microbiota, some terms and explanation to these terms so you can have a fair idea as to what you're listening to and try to understand and follow. It refers to specific microorganisms found within the specific environment of the microbiome or the part of the body, okay? Then you might hear words like genomes. Genomes is an organism complete set of your genetic instructions, and each genome contains all the information needed to build that organism and allow it to grow and develop. So an organ, a liver, a pancreas, a spleen, a penis, a vagina, all these organisms, heart in the body, all right, examples. And it allows it to grow and develop. These instructions are made up of the DNA, which has the code that guides or growth, all right? So enlightening you into some of these terms that you might be hearing. And this is very amazing. It's the feat of genetic engineering, which Master Clive has been talking about, profoundly important because it represents an inherent intelligence, quote and unquote in brackets, intelligence, the mechanism by which all our cells evolve. So folks, I want to start by telling you that we are made up of over 37 trillion cells. And inside all of these cells are smaller cells called the mitochondria. So when we have to understand the beginning of life form, we have to go back to the very beginning of where it starts, the mitochondria, and there are over 120,000 of these per cells. What are the mitochondria? It's our life force in every cell in our body. And yes, our body needs 43 essential nutrients every day for wellness. So later on tonight, you're going to hear about the wonderful products that we have that is going to give the body the fighting chance and to bring back the body to newness of life. All right. So rejuvenation, regeneration, and restoring a healthy mind, body, and spirit. So let's start talking about the microbiome of the penis. So you see a lovely picture up there. So what we are looking at is we're going to touch on some of these subjects that somebody might ask you, just as Dr. Rutan asked, what's so great about the vagina and the penis microbiome? Why should we really care about the penis and its microbiota? All right, I explained what the microbiota is a couple minutes ago. So we're looking at sexually transmitted infections. We're looking at human immunodeficiency virus infections. We're also looking at how it affects cervical, oral, genital, and anal cancers. We're also looking at circumcision for HIV prevention, and also the awareness of sexual health of men and women. Why is this so important? Folks, the head, as you see in the glands, the penis, foreskin, urethral opening there, all right? The head gland and distal urethra, which we're talking about. The urethra, which is not a straw. Folks, people have to understand that if you're looking at that diagram in front there, it seems in everybody's mind that it's like a straw, just one straight, vein that goes up or however you want to term it. But there are ridges to this part of the urethra, and it has pockets and surface areas where organisms can lodge. You will be hearing terms like foreskin. You'll be hearing terms like the urethral opening and all of these that we are seeing. So how do we bring these together in understanding what is the penile microbiome? So there has been ongoing studies between circumcision, sexual activity, and how these two factors can influence the bacterial communities that inhabit male genitalia. All right. Much like the vaginal microbiome, which differs among women and changes over time, the penis is home to a variety of bacteria that varies within a man's age, his sexual activities, and whether he's circumcised, among other things, or uncircumcised. And it's not just the skin that envelopes the male sexual organ that inhabits these microbes. Researchers are now figuring out and finding out that it's also continue to identify the bacteria that dwells within the urogenital tract, a site considered sterile in the absence of infection. So folks, this is bigger than you and I. These topics are really bigger than you and I, all right? When we look at the foreskin, normally a foreskin is moist, all right? But when it's aroused, the function, it pulls back. And when it's aroused, the head shows, which is completely dry. And you woman, maybe I might send you back to biology as well, and checking out the human anatomy of your male partner, of your partner. So now you're going to spec it, you're going to inspect it, and you're going to look at it, because it's a part of who we are, and we have to interact with it every day. All right. So when you notice that foreskin is pulled back, it's dry. So looking at it from a histology standpoint, right? When you look at it from that standpoint, I'm painting a picture in your mind so you can actually see and identify what I'm trying to get across to you. Gonococcal, HPVs, and all these STIs and STDs can lodge and cluster around it, all right? And through sexual intercourse, these microorganisms lodge in these pockets, which we call the distal urethra. So you are seeing the urethral tract here, that where it goes up, you're seeing the bladder, you're seeing the prostate gland and all of that, the little red, is it red, but a little pinkish color, right? The bladder, prostate behind there, all right? So what tends to happen here? When testing was done, they found that the urine contained high abundances of bacteria. All right. So folks, let me just go back a little bit. I'll track back a little bit. We have been talking about the beginning and how, you know, the changes within growing up, puberty, and so forth, the physical growth associated with puberty, initiation. We are talking about initiation of solo and partnered sexual activities, solo meaning masturbation. And then you have your partners as well, you know, partners changes and changing of partners, sorry. And all these affect your microbiota and bring about these STIs, all right? Now, will the formation and the form function of the microbiota, that is what I was explaining here in the diagram. The two parts we are looking at is the coronal sulcus, which is outside the penis, and the distal urethra, where, as I said before, the gonococcal infection, chlamydia, is mostly occurring. Now, they have been looking, and it is in progress, studies have been looking as to see why these bacteria lodge, how it can come about. Because, hey, let's face it, when a guy swims, water can get up in his urethra, right? When anything, as a matter of fact, there is no way in which these liquids can just pump up through the urethra and get in to those pockets and cause bacteria buildup. So there is a connection with what we call episodic contact, all right? Vagina, a place where the penis periodically dwells, all right? We have other areas, the oropharynx, where microbial communities are different. We're looking at the anus and rectum. We're looking at the skin. There are different types of bacteria on the skin as well, in the epithelial lining of the skin. And hey, when sexual activities start to take place, it's not only one part we are associated with sexual activities, is all other parts combined. So in all these other parts of the body, there are different microbes, microbiota that changes and has its own microbiome in its own way. And anytime something alien goes into these areas, which is not accustomed to, a lot can happen, bringing about all these changes. So there have been a connection where when they did these tests, it was contained, the urine of the male will contain high abundances of bacteria. And these bacteria are also found in the vagina. So the question is, so what mechanism pushes these microbiota and causes these changes to happen and bring about these abnormal issues within the body? Well, we have been looking at during trusting as a pattern. When you having sexual intercourse, trusting, you know, a pattern, compression, decompression starts to take place between the vagina and the penis, all right? So what tends to happen there? It causes a high compliance of flow. So here's what's going on now. Vaginal microfluid flows over the penile surface. So when we did the studies and the tests now, it came about supporting this hypothesis that, quote, semen serves as a medium for the transmission of microorganisms between men and women, causing the sexual exchangeability of the vaginal and penile microbiota. I hope you get that, because in other sessions, we're going to go deeper into that. And that is what happens and starts to bring about in the relation to the main issue that men and women actually have BV, which is bacterial vaginosis. And we know what bacterial BV does within a female. It can cause a lot of issues, infertility and all of these things that starts to take place. I think Dr. Rutan had a nice picture of a microbiome in the woman before. Right, wonderful. So we can see all of these things taking place within the body. Folks, I don't expect you to be a biology student and understanding the human anatomy and the whole clinical terms. But in essence and in simplicity, the microbiome rules the world. It rules our entire body and our systems, and by extension, outside of our environment. As Master Clive would always say, it's like the universe outside the universe. It is cells signaling each other. So when these go out of compliance, we bring about certain infectious diseases within our body. And most times, I will quote an associate professor of microbiology, immunology at Indiana University, David Nelson. They were investigating chlamydia infections, and he found evidence to show that the sexually transmitted pathogens in the urogenital tract was obtaining metabolites from other microbes. And this was actually a signature in the chlamydial genome that suggested these organisms might be interacting with other microorganisms. So it is organisms interacting with other organisms. And that is why it is important, because when we did studies on couples, and even in my practice, when I work with couples and units, you might find a certain disease or a certain, imbalance, happens between the male and the female. Now, outside of these circumstances, let's say the guy dipping in and dipping out. When you understand when I say dipping and dipping out, have other extramarital affairs, guess what's happening? He's bringing those other microbiotas in with him. And now she is actually, cohabiting with these others that is coming into her body, right? When sexual intercourse happens. So it is very important that we really be mindful of our sexual activities or appetites and so forth, because it can bring about a lot of pain and heartache in the end, especially with these diseases that is coming out. And folks, let me tell you something. Within recent times, the oncology department here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I will tell you, is that we are coming up with diseases that they don't even have a name for, especially diseases of the mouth. Because a lot of us and doctors came together and we've been discussing it. A lot of men and women like to do oral sex. And now with oral sex, different microbes, different microbiotas, different changes in the microbiome in the mouth, as I just spoke to you about, all right, the oropharynx, is that they can't figure out what is causing these genetic changes. Now we can understand that, and I don't need to read and go deep into explaining, because I mean, we can go to the website, we can do the research, we can look at what is causing some of these issues within our females, colorectal cancer. All right, we have all these issues happening. We have, cervical cancer, all these things. So it is affecting us in a way. And sometimes these things actually, it comes about, the body's parasitic, you're not healthy, you're eating all these kind of sedentary lifestyles you're living. And I mean, I have to say this, is that, when we have sessions like this, somebody will come up and say, don't feel I'm bashing you tonight, but you'll come up and say, okay, I have this and I have that, and what product I need to use. Folks, your body is already rotting. You need to fix the rot and start working on your diet, working on your mind, body, and soul, because when you start to have these healthy cells, it's going to rejuvenate the body. All right, you might see me very passionate talking when I am speaking, because yes, I speak with passion and conviction as well, because I see a lot of things going on with persons coming. We are seeing people every day, and they are not thinking and doing the things that, you know, one needs to do to bring about that healthy lifestyle. All right. So when we look at all these genetic disruptions in our system, it all stems, and I will be simple, we need to just cut away bacteria from our body and live a healthy lifestyle, live a clean lifestyle, a godly one, as how you would term godly, but you know exactly what I mean. All right. So there is a connection. Now I strayed a little bit there, but we have spoken about uncircumcised penis. Now, most of the times what they are bringing into view now, and doctors are doing it now, most now, because of all of these issues that we are dealing with, they are actually having the babies being circumcised. Because what they have been looking at that foreskin, is where most of these STDs and these streps and these stuff, all of these actually stays on the loop and around the genital tracts and so forth. And if you're not practicing proper hygiene, guess what happens? You know, you may have, you know, sexual intercourse, different things, different bacteria get into there, and, you know, we start a process that is really very unhealthy. These pathogens start to colonize. So we have to be very mindful of what we are taking in and taking on in our bodies. And it's not about, you know, just having these partners and you get all horny and excited and you jump into each other's pants. We have to understand what comes behind that and with that. All right, folks. So I don't want to take up too much time, because we want to talk a little bit about the products and how this can, you know, work into our system for healing. But before I leave, I know there would be lots of questions. But before I leave, I want to just let you know something. And I'm saying this with all love. The secret of optimum health lay in the whole broad concept of nutrition, disease prevention, obesity, genetics, emotional disturbances. Yes, when your microbiome goes out, you have a lot of emotional disturbances, like can't sleep, like insomnia, like always aggressive, always, and now more so, our bodies, there is a little gland in our brain that's called the amygdala gland there, that actually processes only things that fear processes with. So you've been bombarded with all these negatives, and it trips the entire system. So yes, nutrition, medical education, sexuality, and more. We must put all this into our daily practice, all right? And this will allow the full span of our whole 120 years of life, human beings, which is really allotted by nature. But guess what? We only live in 70. All right? What happened to the rest? You know, we have studied the centenarians and why they live long. It all starts in the gut, the microbiome, where life starts. All right. And Master Clive did a wonderful job of explaining the birthing, a vaginal birth. And I think I'm not sure if he covered the C-section as well. So at the end of the day, we are given, this is our godly right. This is our genomic right that we need to put back in order. So folks, tonight, I hope that I have touched on this subject and it has opened up your understanding a little more, because when these microbiomes go out of order and out of balance, I would say, it causes a lot of disruption within a human body, especially our women. Our women go through having, you know, cervical erosion. They're having these issues with PCOS, you know, when the vaginal microbiome goes out of order. They're having fibroids, endometriosis, and all the list goes on. But at the end of the day, I will say this to you. We have something very powerful in our hands, and we need to take this to the next level, because the genes can only do what you give it the instructions to do. Do you know that when you get older, there is something called stem cells in your system? It goes dormant. But if something happens to the liver, something happens to the heart, something happens to the pancreas, something happens to the kidneys, these signal cells need to be activated to send to the site to start the body repair, all right? To make these enzymes start to kick in, so these proteins, these RNAs and these DNAs and everything to start kicking in to make the body work. What keeps that dormant and die is because the foods that we are eating, and we think the sodas, the oily foods, the fast foods, yeah, we eating fast food and dying fast food at the same time. So at the end of the day, if we don't take note, this younger generation is going to, the older generation, sorry, according to one of my medical partners about a few weeks back, said that the older generation is outlasting the younger ones. So what is going on? There is an imbalance in globally as we speak. So this has been becoming a question. It has been coming a problem. It has been traumatizing the industry when we are seeing that there is no growth in the young generation, because they are eating fast foods and they are dying fast, as the case may be. So we need to get our genes back in order, to get our body back into balance. And God has given something, and I will say it, God has given something in our hands, and we are playing with it because it has been saving lives. In my past few weeks, I have been treating cancer cases. I have been treating cardiovascular cases, diabetic cases. And what is the connection? We don't make claims that these products cure or heal, but what it does far more than curing and healing. All right. Brings the body to a place, something we call homeostasis, where it maintains of stable and the internal environment of that organism or biological system, so that it can maintain and allow proper functioning of its component cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems. Folks, that's what our bodies are made of. You give it the right nutrition, it is going to do what it's supposed to do. You put bad into your system, you get bad. You look obese, you look fat, you look overweight, you can't even walk, you walk up 2 steps, you're blowing, you know, all of these things. So at the end of the day, your body is telling you, hello, slow down, something is wrong. But do we take heed? No, we don't. So folks, tonight, I hope I open you up. I hope your mind's eye has been open to what we are, the movement that we are having. Because at the end of the day, let me give you some good news and a little secret. The wellness industry is going to boom because the medical system, the clinical system is playing catch up. All right. So back over to you to Dr. Rutan. Love you guys.
Well, you know, my AKA Dr. Denise, you ain't going nowhere, because you and I are going to talk about these products, and we are going to share with individuals the importance of, you know, why Sankey, why now? Like, why are these products so important? And, you know, I know King Clive, this was his baby. It started with these products. And then when he started going into depth of why they were invented, and when the microbiome came up, that was when he just started running. He started running and he could not stop. But I will tell you, this Hasaki right here, the Hasaki is our beginning product. This is the product that we say, guys, you got to look into this product. This is the product you need to begin with. I know one of the doctors that are with us, he spoke in the beginning about how important this Hasaki was because it turned up the flora or it turned it down. And that's where the intelligent force came in from the Hasaki, because you don't normally have a product that goes in and says, okay, let me see, knock, knock, how much bacteria over here? Okay, you supposed to be here? No, no, come out, next door, you need to go next door. And like, I can't remember who was saying it the other day, is that it literally starts recognizing the different, I think it was King Clive, and he was talking about, oh, no, it was Mr. Avita. Mr. Avita spoke about how the intelligent force in the product literally starts looking at the different bacteria and saying, my boy, come this way, man. Use my boy, come, no, come this way. You part of my gang. And it starts collecting its gang and strengthening it, and making sure that it has what it has. Like, just like what you were speaking of a few minutes ago, you said, we got to make sure to feed this bacteria. Yes. And I know, guys, we don't want to scare you on here. We're not trying to scare you, because when you start thinking, when you stop and start going, okay, now hold on, I'm more bacteria than human. You always stay awake all night. Like, what? You know, but that's not what this is for. We're trying to educate you so that you're more aware, that you have to start making sure that you are feeding the bacteria in your body the correct food and nutrition, so that, guess what, it can work for you, because that's what we want our system to do. We want our system to be able to work for us. And like, you know, Joy said, we want that homeostasis. We want that to come to homeostasis. And in order to do that, it has to be fed. You know, I can't remember the grape that King Clive always speaks about, but you know, there is a creme de la creme. There is a bougie bacteria that we have. And King Clive, if you want to jump in on the conversation, I can't remember the name of it, but there is a creme de la creme of bacteria. And this bacteria prefers a certain, you know, entourage of food. It's very particular.
Okay.
King Clive, what is the queen of the bacteria?
Okay, it is called one of the keystone bacteria, Akkermansia mucinifolia.
I said it again, so that we could pay reverence and homage to this little queen. This queen got little say it, little high say in our body.
Yeah, Akkermansia mucinifolia.
Man, okay, and I know there's a certain grape that Akkermansia.
Yeah, her diet is very particular. Like resveratrol that will come from grapes or from peanuts. It likes berries. It likes cacao, you know, and wine, things of that nature, you know, pomegranate. It
Wow.
doesn't like chicken back and white rice. It likes the.
So you're telling me my little oxtail isn't going to help that then? That isn't going to help that.
So that bacteria is what determines if we are fat or we are slim, and it regulates the part of our metabolism that keeps us slim and trim. So all the exercise we're doing, all the gyms we're going to, we need to attract this girl to be in our body, and she maintain our proper body weight.
Oh, wow. And I love how you said cacao, because you know, cacao for me, when we were speaking to Mr. Avita, for those that don't know, the COO of this phenomenal, fantastic company that we're, you know, all a part of, I asked him, I was very particular. I said, well, why did we choose cacao? Like, why cacao? And he said, you know, when you think back and you go back into the many years, cacao or cocoa was considered the food of the gods.
That's right.
You know, and he spoke about how the Mayans had it, and it predates. And you know, when I say predates, it means thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It predates. And there was this, you know, there was such a royalty influence to it, and it was considered that, you know, if you had this, you had longevity. And he was even speaking about how the fields that our cacao comes from are fields that have been around for centuries. So it's not just cacao fields that have just been brought up and, you know, just being planted. No, these are fields that have been around for thousands of years. And he was even speaking about the process that a cold process that we have in our Hasaki, which is a patented formula called Bovia. And he was speaking, guys, of this Bovia, how it's done and formulated, that literally it's invisible. He says you will have vats, tons of this Bovia that is then sent away to make sure that everything is okay. But he said it's invisible. You open the vat and then there's nothing, you can't see it. I was like, what? Guys, think about that. And when I heard that, the first thing I thought of is what King Clive thought of when he first started this microbiome movement. He called it an invisible force that we had. And one of the main products that we use to make sure it's fed correctly is invisible. What? Are y'all I don't know if y'all getting that. Like that right there was so powerful for me, Joy, because to know that the product that we're utilizing, the process that's been created, the Bovia is invisible, and we are feeding this invisible force that's within our body.
That's right. It's more than just that invisible force. It's your spirit being you are feeding. And there is the research
that is deep.
to prove that. Yes, it is.
You know, and so people need to understand that this Hasaki, it nourishes the microbiota with over 596 metabolites. And, you know, I know Joy can expand, but the metabolites have to do with the gut, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That's right. Yes. It's all our protein, amino acids, metabolism. You ever thought about why 596? Well, that's the gene code for the enzymic function in the gut.
Yeah. When he told me that, I was like, what? I was like, how did we get to, you know, that blew me away. If y'all truly understood the science behind these products and the intelligence behind it, you will be absolutely blown away, because it improves protein absorption by 20%. So it's opening up the cells and making sure the protein gets in, because a lot of times we eat a lot of protein this and protein that, but guess what? It ain't going nowhere.
No,
it's just kind of there, but it is not absorbing. It's not getting in. It's just kind of, okay, like sitting on the top and moving away. But this actually opens up the cells and allows for the protein to start getting into the body, and it increases oxidation of fat. It increases it. But this is what always gets me. It provides energy to trillions of the mitochondria. Mitochondria, guys, for those that don't know, is the energy of your cells. So are we not just feeding the bacteria, but we're also making sure that your cells are you know, fueled up and fired up and ready and raring to go. Got it doing what it got to do, making sure you're plugged in. So just like your phone, when that battery starts to go, this goes fully charged, ready to go. That's what our Hasaki does for you, like literally. And then we have this Belage. Listen, this Belage, when you hear the science that goes behind this and understand how now we have Orzoid Enzyme 5, which is now a process where they actually remove and get and gather the bacteria every 28 days based on the cycle of the moon, which then when you think about it, cycles with a woman's period, which then has to do with the mitochondria because it comes from female. Listen, this ain't no normal product. Listen, Joy, when I start thinking about all this stuff, it's blow my mind. It blows my mind, because I'm like, what? We went as far to understand that we needed to gather the bacteria every 28 days because it was stronger when it was gathered every 28 days. What? So now our product is even stronger than it was in the original formulation. Like, I'm blown away. But it reactivates our body's antioxidants. It increases energy production naturally, improves blood circulation.
Wow.
If y'all could see my eyes right now, they were going sideways and rolling over in their head. Improves blood circulation. For those that need assistance in that area, blood circulation, we were talking about the penis earlier. Blood circulation. And guys, I want y'all to know this is not just for the men, for women. I remember one of my very dear friends, she suffered with severe diabetes and never had a sexual drive, never had feeling. Guys, this is going to improve that. This will bring back love, life in that area. You know, we're telling you to be wary and be careful, but we also want you to have it if you're meant to, man. Come on, man. If you're married, doing it, we want you to make sure you're doing it and having fun with it. So we want to make sure everything's circulating and percolating as it should. Right, Joy?
Yes, we need to.
Now, Joy will tell you you need it to rest, but she can tell you also lay naked with no panties on because you got to make sure it's all airy and, clean and
breathing. That's right.
Breathing and make sure and the microbiome can do what it needs to do. But we're going to let you know that this improves blood circulation, guys, and it increases hydration at the cellular level. All of our products are nanotechnology. It means it's going to get into your blood immediately. Not sometimes, immediately. So you're not going to have an issue about wondering what if, gets in immediately and does what it has to do. It also hydrates at a cellular level. This is so important because of the nanotechnology. It can permeate the eye wall barrier as well as the brain barrier. Very, very, very important. Very, very important.
And just to add in there, our guys who, we might know our guys who have a little bit challenge in that department there, prostatitis, prostatic calcification and all of that. The Belage breaks that down. And, those of us who having a little issue in those areas because of diabetes and so forth. Remember, that pineal gland is raised by blood flow. It's nothing else but blood flow. Just as the arteries in the heart gathers lipids and fatty tissues, so too that pineal gland gathers these fatty tissues. So when there's an up and down and it in between, it's because it has a blockage. So the Belage helps to clear that up, and you have pumping. 3 o'clock in the morning, you have that pee stand that way, boy, I need to get going. Back over to you, Dr. Ruth Ann.
Yeah, you see, she's going there, and then she just leave me and be like, okay, back to you, Dr. Ruth Ann. Like, what? so there we have our Inner 7, guys. Listen, our Inner 7 is from 325 meters in the ocean, the Okinawa Ocean. And, through our formulated process, the main ingredients that come out of it is magnesium and potassium. And yes, it is from salt water, but I want to tell persons this for persons to understand. Oh, child, I can't take that because I got high blood pressure and my pressure high. And listen, guys, this has 65 milligrams of sodium. Listen and hear me good. If you had 3 Coke sodas today, you had 130 milligrams of salt in your body. Okay.
Oh, yes.
If you went and had one of them Cheetos or them Doritos, that's 500 something milligrams of salt. Let's not talk about that Kentucky Fried Chicken. A chicken breast from Kentucky Fried Chicken original is 1,100 milligrams of sodium. Okay. So don't come to me telling me you can't take my Inner 7 because you have high blood pressure, but you done gone eat 10 pieces of chicken today. Stop it. Let's back up and let's have some sense, guys. Let's think about what we're saying. Not only does this have 65 milligrams of salt in it, however, it also has, and I know Queen Joy could attest to this, over 60 other minerals.
Oh, yes.
60 other minerals in this. We're talking about copper. We're talking about titanium. We're talking about everything you could think of that you need in your body to balance you out. It has it in it. Okay?
Yes.
And it balances your pH. So it's very important. And for those women that are suffering with menstrual imbalances, I know a lady that used to literally bleed all the time, constantly. She stopped the bleeding. Her period balanced out. She was taking the Belage and the Inner 7. We had a lady that had severe thyroid issues. And like we say, we're not here to cure or mitigate any disease. We're just sharing testimonies that these products have assisted and aided persons in. For me, whenever I feel one little tinkle of pain start happening, Belage and Inner 7, 2 Belage, 1 Inner 7, I'm taking it. And literally the pain just eases away because I have nerve issues. But it also stimulates relaxation and revitalization because of that magnesium and potassium in it. So you're gonna find that sometimes you sleep better even because of it. You're calmer, and it improves digestion. We have persons that put the Inner 7 just in warm water, and they drink it, and they find that they have a good bowel movement. Okay. And like we said, it's going to recover your body's essential minerals because it's packed with minerals. It's not just salt water, as some people would like to call it. It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else to add to that one?
Even persons who go through it, mental issues, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of these things, we have been having a lot of experiences with those who cognitive skills, memory, they are more sharp. They are, getting sharper and, doing things. It's because of the manganese. The minerals is very, very important in breaking down calcification in the brain. Sometimes all of these things, start happening. They have scar tissues in the brain, arteries, and all of these things. Microcirculation, folks. If you understand what is microcirculation, it means that now the vessels are getting blood and oxygenation, no slow hypoxia anymore in that brain. It's opening up, vasodilating. So it's breaking down and opening up those smaller capillaries and blood vessels that we could have been starved for years. And now it is happening, and you're feeling more, alert, aware, mental awareness, you're getting more savvy, and you're like, but persons tend to think that when you take a product, you're supposed to feel a big, great sensation take place, and wow, instantly you start to get this boost of energy. Folks, when these things are working at that cellular level, you don't feel anything at all. But one day you wake up and you realize, but wait now, I don't have the sinuses anymore. I don't have the headaches anymore. I'm more, mentally alert. I get a good night's rest. These are what these products do, Many a times, we say we hanging or you're lying at a bar and you're drinking, and then suddenly when you get up, you fall books on the ground, slow creeper. Well, this is a good slow creeper. It helps you get more alert and well within the body.
Yep. And sometimes you'll even find those individuals where they take the product and then they have a retracement. So your body is in a retracement mode where instead of going, woohoo, you go, hold on now. Why are you feeling a little sluggish? What going on here?
That's right.
What going on here now? I feel a little sluggish. No, there's something wrong with them products. I can't take them things. No, baby, you in retracement mode. Just keep taking it. Drink more fluid. Your body needs to flush. You got to get them toxins out. It's trying to get it out.
Right.
It's pushing it out. I remember one gentleman who started on the Balaj, and when he looked, he found he had kidney stones. He literally peed out kidney stones within less than a week later. He never even knew he had kidney stones.
I had that experience with a female as well. She didn't even really know she had kidney stones. And when she started taking it, it started coming out.
Yeah, like people just don't understand. We had a gentleman who found he had gallstones. Oh, the 10 cost gallstones. You took it for less than a week. It actually flushed. It found the gallstones for you.
Yes.
What? Like we have to be real, and we have to understand that these products are, like she said, they're getting into the system. They're nanotechnology. They're minuscule. It's getting in there. It's flushing. And as long as you're drinking half your body weight in water, it's going to assist and aid in flushing. Something cannot flush. A toilet cannot flush if it don't have no water in it.
Correct.
Okay. You cannot flush a toilet bowl without water. And no matter how much you try, it ain't gonna happen. So this is your body. You want your body to start flushing out these toxins. And what you find is once you start taking the Balaj, then everything is now open. So when you start eating a piece of fruit, whatever nutrients are supposed to come out of that fruit, guess what? It goes into your body properly this time.
Yes,
before it was just kind of passing through, just gonna just so. Oh, was that an orange? Your body says, was it? Was that an apple? But now, once you start taking the Balaj, now it's like, oh wow, vitamin A, vitamin C, oh wow, E, D. That's what your body starts saying. It starts screaming what it's getting. But before it was just saying, oh, was that you? Did you eat that?
Yes.
This is what starts happening.
That's
but our Corn We Fire guy, it reduces the absorption of calories and sugars and carbs. So if you're that individual, you're hypertensive, you have diabetes, and like I said, we're not curing or mitigating any disease here, but we want you to understand that if you're that individual, this product is going to assist you. Those Japanese black beans are simply amazing. And you're going to drink this as a hot tea. And guess what? The plus is that's going to give you a phenomenal, fantastic, incredible sleep at night. So you're going to find yourself going through those different levels of sleep, the alpha, the beta, the theta, the gamma. You are going to enjoy your sleep. And it's going to deal with the gastric protection and antioxidation, and it increases thermogenesis and burns fatty tissue. So sometimes when you drink it, you're going to feel a little hot, a little heated. You thought you was hot before, but now you're like, oh, yeah, I'm hot. I let it burn a little fat there. And then we have some people that say, the fire start burning, you'd be like, hold on, but I don't have any weight to lose. Well, the thing is, if there is no weight to lose, it's not going to burn weight, but it's going to take off weight that you're not meant to have. Okay, that's the
That's
first
right.
thing. And then two, also it starts burning all the plaque in your arteries. Once it starts, can't find
Visceral
anything
fat.
else, it's not supposed to be burning, it's gonna start taking away that fat out, the plaque of them arteries. So Joy, what do you think about that one?
Oh yes, the visceral fat. You see, we may think we're looking slim and all dandy and nice, but internally there are fats around the organs, and that is what the Crenue does. It actually breaks down and removes the fatty tissues while you sleep. So a lot of things is happening between the hours of 10 and 3. People, those are times that you need to rest, because that's when your circadian rhythm starts working in repairing, rejuvenating, and regenerating the organs. And another thing persons do, okay, because it's a mixture and you mix in water, they just drink Belage, they just drink Crenue, just drink Inner 7, and they forget about, as you was rightfully saying, the other percentage part of water to take. You must drink water to now flush the toxins out of the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system needs water to flush it out so that the toxins can flush out, so you can have those cells looking healthy. It's like what a picture this in mind. Those fatty cells, when you drink water, picture a balloon, that when you drink water and the balloon starts to go down, when the air starts to come out, that's what water does to fatty tissues and cells. It washes and it shrinks these fatty cells as well. So once you're getting it inside, you're getting it outside, you know, it's amazing what water does. If you don't drink water, you start to feel, you know, foggy head, you start to can't think straight, you're cranky, you're getting up, you know, all crashing and cranky. All of these issues, you know, it builds up a lot of hormonal imbalances. I have seen the Crenue help person who have had even hormonal imbalances and issues starts to even be, you know, corrected. So folks, we have wonderful products in our hands. Back over to you, Dr. Ruthann.
Okay, so we have, before I bring up the phenomenal, incredible, dynamic international sales director of this dynamic company, we have about maybe 1 or 2 questions in the chat. So I'm going to throw them over to you, Joy. One of the questions are, it says, which supplements are recommended for persons with cancer? And I know you, in your practice, you've assisted and aided individuals with these issues. So which products would you kind of recommend for persons with cancer?
Well, cancer normally is when, you know, it's a whole different ball game altogether. But what I would suggest, all 4 of the products, because you need to clean, repair, start detoxing, repairing, and bringing back those cells to rejuvenate and form, you know, breaking down those protein cytokine storms within the body. So all 4 of the products is very, very important. We can't really identify this product or that product for a specific, you know, condition. But what we are doing, we are bringing about the body to balance, homeostasis, because these microbiomes go out of balance. So you have to restructure and bring back that genetic code back into their bodies. So with whatever is causing it, whether it's high inflammation, whether it's, you know, cells gone rogue, or whether it's just the environment that bring it about, whether it's a stress activity. Yeah, stress brings about cancer too in your system. Oh, hey, you never knew that, right? So all of those, all products, folks, all products. We just go back to your health practitioner or the person who invited you to this session, and they would have the instructions as to how you will take it.
Definitely. So what about somebody with fibroids? They were asking, like, what, you know, what would you kind of recommend for fibroids?
Yes, we've been having that question recurring over and over in the room. Fibroids work just like PCOS, just like, you know, endometriosis. So it's no different. You have to correct that enzymic function in the body, because it is where the protease and amylase goes out of balance and causes fibroids. Fibroids actually is when the body, you know, it starts from the from a digestive issue. So you have to be on all products, because all products is going to bring homeostasis and balance to that body. And you will start to shrink that fibroids. It will start to regulate the endocrine system, which is the thyroids and hypothalamus and the parathyroids, so that the hormones can, you know, regulate, and the pituitary, so that it can do what is required to bring that stableness to that to that body once more.
Wow. Thank you so much, Joy. You know, it's always an absolute pleasure to be on with you, my rider. Okay, I'm sorry guys, but this is my fellow unicorn all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. You always have to find your tribe, and she's a part of my tribe. So I absolutely love her. So I want to let Pauline know that you asked can you find these products. Just get back to the person that brought you to this call. They will definitely be able to aid and assist you and letting you know how you can go about it. Just for those that don't know, we have fulfillment centers in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas. We ship all over the United States, and we are also shipping to Canada. So for all those that want to know about this information, please get back to the person that brought you to this call. And then we have Charmaine that asked, how many packages of Balaj can you take a day? Well, Dr. Bahia Diaz says that you can take up to 6 sachets per day. So it's really up to you. I know with me, initially, when I first started these products, I was taking about 5 Balages per day, and then I reduced it down to 4. I'm kind of down to anywhere between 2 and 3 now per day, but I'm still taking a good amount because of my personal condition. But I have seen so much improvement on a daily basis, on a minute-to-minute basis. I am so proud of myself, and I absolutely love these products. So without further ado, I'm going to roll over to the dynamic, the phenomenal, the incredible. Listen, this gentleman has been in the network marketing industry for, I don't know how many years, over 20 years, and that probably tells his age. So I'm so sorry to tell your age, sir, but he's young at heart. He brings the heart to this company. He is our international sales director, and I'd love for him to come to the floor and speak to us this evening. King Tim Trahan, have you made it to the call?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Take it away.
Hey, guys, man, I'm sitting here and I'm totally speechless. I thought I learned a lot the last time I was on, but man, it seems like every time I get on, it just gets better and better, or I like to say gooder and gooder. It's just absolutely fantastic. The time and, the research behind all of the fantastic topics that you guys pack into this particular Zoom is just absolutely incredible. And then, how it directly relates to everything that we're doing and how our technologies actually address each and every scenario that you guys talked about. It's absolutely incredible just to hear the conversation from a clinical standpoint. I'm speechless, totally blown away, guys. You guys do this so awesome. I believe that the whole world needs to hear this call, and we need to grow this particular Zoom on this night till it can't fit the people on it, right? It's just absolutely incredible, super impactful. It is just absolutely mind-blowing. And guys, you guys need to invite some folks on, especially that have questions about what it is that our system does, right? Because the questions were answered right here. Just absolutely incredible. When you talk about the microbiomes and wow. And like I said, I was so impressed last week when I was on, when Clive Campbell said something, the things that makes us most human, it's not even human, right? And then to hear just everything that happened tonight, it was just super impactful. I don't even want to take away from anything that was said, but I'm just super impressed. I'll be on this call all the time, and I'm going to invite everybody that I know to come and take a listen, just because the educational platform that you guys have taken with this is next level. And I really commend everything that you guys are doing. Love it, love it, love it. So I'll turn it back over to you, Dr. Ruth Ann.
Thank you so much, King Tim. Yes, this is what we do here. And as you can see, we don't even like to talk about the money or anything like that, because this is not what this call is about. This call is to educate you and for you to understand the power of these products. Now, I will let you know that we definitely at this moment until Friday have a special going on, which will allow you to get the products at a discounted rate. Like I tell persons, if you like sales and you like to save, it's time to get in. It's time to get in and get your products and get them now. And you can literally start for a minimal of 100. I think it's like, let's see here. It's $159, and you're going to get $55 off each of these products. Each of these packages, you can get $55 off. To me, that's amazing. So like I said, I ain't talking about no business. I'm just trying to let you know that if you really want to save, if you're that individual that says, I want the cheapest possible way for me to get these products. What's the cheapest way? Well, here's the cheapest way. Okay. This is the cheapest way to get the products. Get on board. You're going to get a discount this week only until Friday. That is the discount, $55 off of each of these packages. If you're that individual that says, guess what, I need that Balaj for me and my wife, or me and my spouse, or me and my family member, start with the unified pack. Start with the unified pack. If you're that individual that says, hold on, that Hasaki, I need that Hasaki, whatever in that Hasaki, because I want to be a part of the gods. I heard cacao and God, that's all I heard. So I need a basic pack. And then in that, you're going to get a Hasaki vanilla and you're going to get a Hasaki chocolate. So that package is for you. But if you're that individual on this call, I know I have one of my teammates that got on board. Her and her husband were like, listen, I need this for me and my husband, and we need the whole kit and caboodle. So guess what? They came in on the executive pack. That was their decision because they wanted to take their health next level. And that was her exact words. I'm ready. Me and my husband are ready to take our health next level. We need the executive pack. So I'm saying to you tonight, we ain't talking about no business. We ain't telling you how to make money, because guess what? Money in this, but that ain't what it's about. It's about your health, because without your health, you can't have wealth and you can't enjoy it. Remember Steve Jobs, after having all that millions of dollars with Apple, on his deathbed, he was like, this is what it comes to. I can't even save my own life. Are you hearing me? Okay. So without further ado, I'll bring King Clive back up and see if he has any last words. King Clive, are you out there?
Hey, I'm very much here. I just want to thank everyone who made it to the call tonight. I thank you, Dr. Ruthann. I thank Lady Denise. You are Google in a way that it's amazing. You have a beautiful mind, and you have brought all your gift and treasure to this table. And for those who are wise, will take from this table and become a better person. I thank Mr. Tim Tran, for the time he has taken to grace us with his wonderful presence. He is a very humble man. Don't let him fool you. He is a profound gentleman. He has a wealth of knowledge. You want to come to this company to benefit from guys who can take you to the next level of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, each person that made it to the call tonight, I want to thank you. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for inviting your friends. And next week, I'm challenging you. If each of us were to take 2 persons, then we will get the word out, because this microbiome awareness movement is that everybody needs to know about this. From baby to granny, every nook and cranny, we each have our microbiome. We did not know it is damaged, but here comes time for Sankey Global to fix our damaged gut microbiome, that we can enjoy a better quality of life. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Have a sanctified night. Sanctified night. God bless you in Jesus' name. Take it away.